God bless everyone. Welcome back. Hope everything is well. Today I want to present a video. It's not going to be short, so I'm not going to promise that today will be short because I have some interesting information that I would like all of us to pay attention to, especially with everything that's going on now. So I'm going to get right into it. You guys are going to figure it out as we go what this video is about. And if you would like to share your comment, please do so. If you want to give it a thumbs up, please do so. And if you would like to subscribe, then you may also do that also. So I'm going to play this clip and then we're going to go into it. I don't know if you realize this, but Trump is saying something to Miss Erica about looking up, right? Then you see that they split the screen and they show one side of the screen the picture of Charlie Kirk, and she looks up and she does this hand gesture. Now, ask yourself this question: why would she do a hand gesture like that? A lot of people are going to say, well, she's grieving, she's looking up at Charlie's picture, and it just means I love you. Like, I love you, Charlie. And I could get that, but that's not what this is about. And a lot of people are obviously going to judge and they're going to say this and that. At this point, with everything that I'm not even going to go over in this video because it's way too much information. With everything that's been exposed, everything that's been talked about, everything that just doesn't seem right, it doesn't match, doesn't connect, it does not make any sense. We're going to go into the hand gesture that she just did. And I'm going to try to break it down for you. So now, this hand gesture is called the horned hand. And I'm pretty sure it's not the first time. We've obviously all seen it before. A lot of people do this. A lot of people. And a lot of people are naive to this. They don't know what this actually means. They just like to do it because other people have done it before, and it's just a trend. It's just something that is in society. But before we continue on where we've seen these hand gestures before, we're going to get into the definition of what it is. You guys can read this for yourself if you want to pause the video. I'm not going to leave it up here for long because it's just going to make my video longer. So if you just want to pause it, that's fine. I'm not going to read all of it either. But I am going to go over a few things. It says here under where it says horned hand or the mano cornuto. The two fingers pointing upwards represent the horns of Satan. This sign can be made in the following ways. Okay, we're not going to go through all that because it talks about the Church of Satan and Anton LaVey and all that stuff. We're going to go down to the second one. And it says, this signifies I love you, Satan. We don't need to go any further. Once we read the first line that says that this represents the horns of Satan, we don't need to know anything else. But for your sake, you can read it if you like. And down here in the second section, where it's actually the same one she did, it tells you a little bit of where this came from. Which according to this source, it says it did come from a lady named Helena Blavatsky. And she was supposedly a 32-degree Freemason, all right, and a devout Satan worshiper. That's pretty much we all need to know. All right, we're going to continue. In this slide, it says that this gesture signifies Baphomet, the goat god of witchcraft. Okay, again, you can pause this, read it for yourself if you want to, all the way to the bottom. And to, I guess, some Italians, this is also called mano cornuto, and it's like a luck charm where it's supposed to ward off the evil eye and stuff like that, which we all know as Christians that the only thing that protects us from evil is God himself. So we already getting into this already know that that hand gesture that she did, and according to her, she is a Christian, should not be doing that. She should not be doing that. She should know better at this age, especially a person like her that has been involved in politics and all these things in society and travel the world, and she is 36 years old, older than Charlie. She would know better than to do something like that. So for her to do that, for her to be hugging Trump, not saying there's anything wrong with that, but that just tells me that there is a more deeper connection here, rather than he's just being there as support, or the other politicians are there for support just because of the situation with Charlie Kirk. I don't think, and I highly doubt, all of this just arose after Charlie Kirk's death. I doubt that. I doubt this connection just started after Charlie Kirk. I believe this has been there. We obviously do not know too much of her background, but if you research it yourself, you would know that she is successful. She does have a little business online. You can see it for yourself. It's called, I believe, Bible 365, if I'm not mistaken. And the other one that she has going is the Proclaim street gear or clothing brand, whatever you want to call it. So she does have some things going for herself, and she obviously did she did graduate with a master's, I believe, in Christian leadership. I keep saying I believe because I can't remember exactly which one was it, the Christian leadership or a master's degree in something else, but either way, she did go to college for that. So you can look this up yourself. I'm not making this up. And this is not to put her down. It's not to talk badly about any party in the political world. Is not to praise anyone in this situation either. Because the focus that everyone should have is Jesus at the end of the day. It shouldn't be a human being. So now we're going to continue going into the next slide, which I'm going to show you guys these hand gestures that these people, these certain group of people would express. So the first one we're going to look at is kiss. And if you look at the background, you can also see that their actual lettering looks like a thunder, which we're going to get into. You're also seeing this hand gesture. They're not the only group or the only people that have done this hand gesture. I'm just not going to go waste my time looking for these photos because they do exist. But the point is that people in these societies, the celebrities, they like to do this hand gesture. I mean, look at this guy, the one that's actually doing it. He's the leader of the group, if I'm not mistaken. He looks like this, just like this guy, the Ghost of Mars. That demonic thing looking. I mean, it's very, very demonic. If you don't even need to know what songs they sing just by looking at it. I mean, they represent Satan. And of course, we pray for people like this because they're just lost souls. They're human beings that deserve a chance to salvation. You know, we pray to God for these people so that they can come to Christ. So Ghost of Mars have nothing to do with this, but I just wanted to show you that these rock bands like Kiss and all these other ones do the same hand gestures. Now, going back to the title, right? Their actual name, Kiss. If you saw the photo and you looked at the lettering, it looks like the symbol of a thunder, okay? But we also see here that the other rock band group called Metallica has a very similar symbol, like in this photo. The other group would be AC/DC, Thunderbolt, right? But we also see here in this picture where Charlie was the same day he was murdered, he has a thunderbolt, right? Right between the words, prove me wrong, prove me wrong. And for some reason, this jumped out at me when I actually saw this after his death, because obviously I was at work while he was at this campus, and I did not know what had happened until my brother gave me a call. So when I found all this out, then I found out that he died in the hospital, or before he got to the hospital. I was just looking through the pictures and I seen this. This popped out like instantaneously. It just caught my attention. And I'm like, why does he have a thunderbolt symbol? It's just very odd to me. Because I know what this represents. I know what this means. And as a Christian company or a Christian nonprofit organization, I really don't believe we should be having symbols, especially when they don't represent Christianity. I know people have a dove, or people have a fire, or like some type of lamp, as a logo or whatever for their church. I get all that. Obviously, those things resemble whether it's the Holy Spirit or the anointing of God. That's all understandable. But here we have a thunderbolt. And if you did not know, I'm pretty sure a lot of people do, but if you did not know, this thunderbolt does represent something. We see here the picture of Thor. And it also has the lightning bolt. So what it says about Thor here, and what it says about the thunderbolt, I'm going to read to you. The thunderbolt symbolizes power, strength, and divine intervention, often associated with Thor, the Norse god of thunder. In Norse mythology, Thor's hammer is said to have the power to generate lightning bolts, which he used to defeat his enemies. The thunderbolt is also a symbol of protection and authority, representing the power of the gods and the might of Thor. I'm going to get somewhere with this in a minute. But we already know, right, with the hand gestures, with the thunderbolt symbol. Now I'm trying to share with you guys what this all means, starting from the hand to the thunderbolt. We already know it's mythology, and it's the Norse mythology specifically. I am now going to show you guys the rest. If you guys want to read, you can pause and read it. And now we're going to move on to the next slide.
To my friend Charlie Kirk. Rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Did you hear what he just said? Listen.
We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
What in the jungle is Kash Patel talking about? See, when I first heard this, I'm just thinking, it's probably just some Indian word, right? Some Indian word that means heaven. And that's what he believes in. But then, after seeing some things online, hearing a lot of rumors, I thought to myself at first, I'm not gonna pay any mind to this because I'm still pretty much trying to get over what happened with Charlie, I'm not going to pay attention to these conspiracy theorists. But then I started thinking, wait a minute, something doesn't seem right. I waited to the memorial, and I even recorded the whole memorial service, which is like 8 hours and 31 minutes. And I watched parts of it. And at the end, when this Erica Kirk makes this hand gesture, that's when it clicked. And I said, there's no way. There's absolutely no way this is going on. And of course, if you hear the memorial service yourself, when all these politicians have taken over and made a lot of comments and, said what they said, it was more political than anything. It was more political than a funeral. It was more political than a viewing. It was more political than a memorial service for a person who was just assassinated. It was more of pushing their agenda and seeing how many people were literally registered that day to be there. It was overly packed that they had to sit probably the other 20,000 people that didn't fit there and sit them outside. And I'm like, wow, is this where we're taking this? Now I'm going to show you what this actually means. Check this out. The term Valhalla comes from Old Norse, meaning Hall of the Slain. In Norse mythology, Valhalla is the afterlife for brave warriors who die in battle, where they are honored by Odin. The word is composed of Val, meaning the slain, and Hol or Hal, meaning hall. Valhalla is depicted as a grand hall where warriors feast and prepare for battle, symbolizing a warrior's ultimate destination after death. Now you're probably wondering, once again, what does this have to do with any connection? I'm about to show you. We now see a picture of Tyler Robinson, and we see that when they took this picture, he has a picture on the monitor screen, whether it's a desktop saver or whatever it is. But take a real good look at that. Does that look like that? That's Goat Island, which is located in New Zealand. See right there? Yeah. It's located in New Zealand. And it's located in Valhalla. This little island is right off of Valhalla. And when you actually go into Valhalla, there's this mansion not too far from this Goat Island, because this Goat Island is literally just a couple of feet away from this mansion, not too far off. And this mansion, a lot of people go there for vacation, they book it, whatever, just like many other spots in New Zealand. But this specific mansion holds up to 27 people. It's really big. A lot of people use it. And when this FBI director said this, and I started hearing what I heard, and a lot of people started saying all these rumors, I started looking into this, and I started looking at Tyler Robinson, these pictures of him. And I never saw this picture, which is the one in, I guess, his room. And I saw the picture. I looked up Valhalla, went to New Zealand, found the mansion, then found the Goat Island. That was the picture on his desktop. And that's when I started to kind of buy into more of what people were saying. Whether these accusations are true or not, that the FBI has something to do with this, the Jewish people have something probably to do with this, with the assassination of Charlie, or these politicians have something to do with this, I'm pretty sure somebody knows something. Again, this is not to attack anybody or to falsely accuse anyone of doing anything that would fool the public. But if this picture was taken of Mr. Tyler before, I guess, the assassination occurred, he has this picture on his monitor screen. The FBI director talks about Valhalla, which once again is a Norse belief. And this place actually really exists. There is a place called Valhalla, and this Goat Island was on his computer. What that leads us to think. This is not a coincidence. This has a deeper meaning. This gives me the vibes of it just being staged. Now, I don't want to criticize Erica Kirk. I don't know her. I kind of looked into her background a little bit. Know her parents were Catholic, or she was raised Catholic. And I'm not going to judge her based off of that. Because we all have a background. We all have a past. But to tell you the truth, and this is just the honest truth, somebody that's grieving over a death of a person doesn't necessarily have to have been a tragic moment, like with Charlie Kirk, an assassination. They grieve so much, and it hurts them so much, that if anyone were to get the chance of seeing them go through this process of grieving, they are going to be in pieces. They're going to show that they're suffering, truly suffering. A lot of people say, oh, we all grieve differently. I mean, if you want to hang on by that, then you go right ahead. But as soon as I saw the first video that came out after his assassination, which took a couple of days, I think about a week before the memorial service, she came out with a video of her being at the TPay USA studio. And she's talking near Charlie Kirk's chair. And it just doesn't seem to me that she was grieving. It does not feel as if she's heartbroken. It doesn't feel like anything, as a matter of fact. It just feels like an acting session. I'm sorry to say. It just doesn't give me that feeling. I was looking for it while I was watching the video. I'm just watching her and observing her and just waiting for the moment for her to just break out and cry. And I didn't get that. Then I waited to the memorial. Same thing happens. The speeches, the this, the that. And her eyes got a little watery. She's drying them up with her tissues that she always has in hand. Again, nothing that indicates to me that she's heartbroken of this tragedy. Mind you, her husband was just shot in the neck, was killed, murdered, assassinated. you would be a total mess. As a matter of fact, you probably wouldn't even show your face because you're going to be such a mess. Of a person that's grieving over a death of a family that had a heart attack or whatever, died in their sleep, they're going to grieve a lot. They're going to mourn over their loved one. But you're going to see it. You're going to see their face. You're going to see their way of being, their attitude. Her husband was tragically murdered. And you're not showing any signs that you're heartbroken. As a matter of fact, she just came out with another video after the memorial. And she was at the TPUSA studio with like 3 other men that I believe work on the board of this nonprofit organization. None of them, as a matter of fact, look like they're even bothered that this happened. She's smiling, laughing, as if she's totally over this. I don't know if you guys saw this video. I'm not going to upload it here, but it doesn't make any sense. This is what I'm trying to get down to. Let's move on to the next slide. Since I found the mansion in this New Zealand spot, I went ahead and went on the website and actually checked the calendar. I might as well, right? I mean, I'm already there. And I actually saw how much this mansion was actually booked. You can see it for yourself. This is a little sus. I'm not going to say that anybody went over there. But it does seem very suspicious. Then we have here an image of what seemed to be a book that was somehow published before the death of Charlie Kirk. You could take a look at that. Things are just not adding up. And this book was quickly taken down. And as I read into my research, which I kind of figured, that this book was an AI book, an AI created book. That was the only conclusion I could come down to before I even found the information about this book, because of the simple fact that it takes a long time to write a book and to go through the process of having it published. For it to come out literally the day before, there's no way. Even if it came out the same day he was murdered, it's impossible. It just wouldn't, that would not be possible unless this was an AI generated book. The issue with this is that the book was published the day before. There's no explanation to all this. Here you also read, there's like a quick summary of the book. And it tells you the beginning and pretty much the conclusion, which the conclusion was he survived, according to this book. But obviously this book is not available for us to purchase. So we're going to move on now to what you call a movie that came out in 1998 called Snake Eyes. So this movie, Snake Eyes, if you can notice here, Nicolas Cage is sitting and doing a hand gesture, which I believe we have all seen this multiple times before. And I'm going to show you clips at the memorial service where people are doing the same hand gestures. You see Trump doing it. You see Elon Musk doing it. And really, there's no reason for them to be doing these things. To me, it's just too much. Just a tad bit too much. But we all know that the secret society have a lot to do with these hand gestures. A lot of people done it, especially in the political world. And unfortunately, there is a picture of Charlie here doing the same thing. It really bothers me. It's something that I've never seen before. Him doing that. And it just makes me wonder. Now, there is another picture that I can't find of Charlie doing the same thing. Alright? This is not a coincidence. I don't know if they lied to him. I don't know what's the situation here. I don't know if he knew what he was doing. But this is far beyond what we thought it really was. I'm not even going to speak about his death because everything just seems to be too staged. Just too staged. And I really hope that he was true. I hope that he was true. I hope he was a true guy. But going back to this movie from 1998, Snake Eyes. This movie, when it came out, Nicolas Cage obviously plays his role in other people. Not sure what the movie's about, never seen it. I just seen the clips that people were comparing to the Charlie Kirk situation. The characters in this movie have pretty much almost the same exact names as everyone involved in the Charlie Kirk assassination. The person that got shot in the neck in the movie while the person was sitting, his name was Charlie Kirkland. The boxer in the movie that goes down, I guess, not sure if he gets knocked down in the ring or what happens, but his name is Tyler. And he has to go down in the movie for whatever the reason is. And in the movie itself, it's showing all this chaos, right? In the middle of the chaos, there is a woman that is wearing a white top, like a white suit top. And she has blonde hair. And she falls to the floor. When she falls to the floor, that blonde hair falls out of her head because it was a wig. And her natural hair color was black. Erica Kirk, Charlie's wife, has been seen wearing white, a white top, in both occasions of both videos. One at the memorial, one at the first video she did after Charlie was assassinated at TP USA, white top. She has blonde, long hair, even though the woman in the movie has short hair. Doesn't matter. And it's blonde. But if you look closely, Erica Kirk's natural color hair is black, not blonde. You could just tell because the black roots are growing in. So if you look at the clip of that movie where she falls and the wig comes out, you can see and put together that this woman in the movie was not who she seems to be because she has a wig on. And we know everything that is not naturally you is a mask, pretty much. That's what it is. Like people that wear makeup, false eyelashes, the eyebrows, all this stuff, wigs. It's not really them. It's not their natural selves, is what I'm trying to say. So if we connect the dots here from that movie to everything else that's been signaling to us, that this is not just coincidence, and this is not just something that happened that no one absolutely knew that was going to happen, then we can say that everyone is playing a role in what happened and what is happening now. These politicians are obviously part of a group, maybe not all, but with all these hand gestures is leading us to understand that, yeah, they're all in on it. I have more information, which I will probably post on another video, that I would like to also share, but I'm going to end this video here. Let me know what you think. I'm just pinpointing out the facts and what the vibes are. It's very sloppy, this situation. Even the text messages that the FBI released about Tyler Robinson between him and his roommate was very sus. No one is going to be texting back and forth all these details in the middle of what just happened. No one's going to do that. The only thing they can do is probably make a phone call or meet up with the person and speak about it. But texting back and forth all these details of information, it's too obvious that these text messages were most likely made up just to make it seem that he is the guy, and he definitely was the person that was planning on assassinating Charlie Kirk. With that being said, God bless you guys, and I hope that you really think about this, because this does not stop here, and this means something so much deeper than what we could probably understand. Thank you guys once again. Take care.